I don't want to say they didn't allow me to show emotion, but najua tu wanaume vile tunaambiwanga usifanye hivi, usilie, usifanye vitu kama hivyo.
Kangumu.
Yeah, kangumu. Music imenisaidia sana kuji-express, yeah. There's things that otherwise I would have sat with and bottled and zingekuwa tu vitu zimepita na mimi, but music, I'm able to express myself in a way that most people are not able to. And I think it also helps other people who listen to my music to express themselves in one way or another. Unajua tu ukisikiza ngoma saa zingine inakupatia emotions zingine. Unaget unaanguka nazo nini. So I think music has helped me a lot. I would say a lot in terms of just expressing myself and being vulnerable, even as a dude.
Even he please. Selituambia vile hapa mazedem alikuwa amemkanyanga kama amemchanganya ile date.
Yeah.
Ilikuwa kanisani.
Alikuwa
heartbroken.
Naacha niambia kuna wasichana wanavunjanga mtu moka, wasichana wachache.
Umejaribu kuongea naye 5 years.
Kwanza anakupiga hadi na mavazi na ni mtu tu ako na mashida kama wewe, lakini anakupiga hadi na mabible.
I was saying, let me bring it into something that can be relatable, especially for people out here in the diaspora. Na tukistick na theme yenye Karisma alikuwa ameanza nayo hiyo story ya mapenzi, dating, right? It's just like when you date a Kenyan and when you date an American. Unajua ukidate Mkenya umwambia anguka nayo ataanza kucheka.
Yeah.
Right? And like it's just easy to communicate. There are things whereby you can communicate easily by just like you understand each other at one level.
Yeah.
If it's an American that you're dating, ukimwambia anguka now you have to explain.
Mwambie fall with it.
Yeah, like you have to explain things. You have to like the things like they don't
fall
understand.
On it.
So it's so it's that so it's that as you're saying. There's a that cultural knowledge that you come with it, that is there with you. You've been raised with it. You've been born with it. It's something like right now, if a company, if you go somewhere right now where Kenyans are, right, and like it's just a Kenyan gathering, and it's just and you say Tibim. You'll get an answer. Back to you, like you'll get an answer immediately. Like it's that cultural familiarity that is there that is supposed to be maintained and held there. So that is where hizo mashairi comes in, right? Anguka nayo ni mashairi.
Ni mashairi hapo.
It's a simple line anguka nayo, but it has a lot of meaning. Kwa maandamano, but ngoma ni ya sherehe, but still the same statement ilimaanisha shuka na like corruption. Tunaanguka nayo, tunaenda nayo chini.
Tunaanguka na wewe.
Yeah, like go down low, like anguka nayo, go down low, like everything. It was like, ngoma ni ya sherehe, but unajua nini pia kukupiga nayo tafadhali. So there's that understanding that comes with that concept.
Yeah, and that's interesting, like and even in the Kiswahili language, ukisikia tukimbizane nini Salome wangu, hiyo michezo ya jogo, you already know what that means. Yeah.
I told you about those shades.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, ukimwona jongo, like you already know exactly what they're talking about. Simama kidogo, piga magoti. Anyway, wacha turudi kwa Yeah, I know. So people don't understand how there is sweetness, deliciousness, and depth
we have a caller
within our different languages. We have a caller.
Yes.
Okay. Before we go to the next question, and of course, if you wanna speak to Charisma, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Na hapo before to pick your call, Udia anasema Mika amesema, so Washeke kwanza alisema tucheze wivu. On hit or miss, Mika nataka tucheze love me. So please type zile ngoma mnataka, and then Udia nasema there are books being sold in nice streets that will educate you on all languages. All right, very interesting.
True.
Yeah. So let's go. But me, I'll tell you with languages, like being a language teacher myself, you have it's very important to have a teacher and to have somewhere where you can practice the language. Very, very important. The biggest people you can practice with are your parents or the people you're living with. That's where you learn the fastest.
I have some questions for you. Nimesikia ukisema hapa that you wrote that one of the songs with Ben Soul. So do you typically write your own songs ama kuna zingine unaandikiwa? That's question number 1. Question number 2, to you, what's success? Watu wengine, success to them is, commercial success. But to you, what does success look like? Question number 3, I know a lot of artists, talk about, getting nerves when they get on stage or when they're about to perform. Do you experience that, and how do you deal with it? Number 4, so have you ever been in a scenario where your audience isn't responding to your performance, like they look tired or bored, and if you did, how do you revive them so they're responding to you? And then my last question is, do you feel like music helps you in other areas of your life?
What?
Hizo ni deep. Hata unazikumbuka zote.
Huyu ni mwalimu.
Number 1 was do I write my own music?
Yeah.
Number 2 was
remind us number 2. Washeke.
Number 2 is how do you define success? Because I feel everybody defines success in a different way. So to you, Charisma, how do you define success?
Yeah. And then there was a question about stage fright.
Yeah.
Yes, the third one was stage fright. Do you experience it? And how do you deal with it? And then number 4 ilikuwa, like kama audience is bored and not responding to your performance, what do you do?
Unaanguka na.
And then alafu focus. Question ya mwisho is does music help you in other areas of your life?
Yeah. Okay, great question.
Those are my questions.
Thank you.
Huyu Washeke.
Thank you, Washeke.
Huyu ni mwalimu. Guatemala.
Ameamua amalize mrasta.
Usiwasikize, don't leave in Guatemala. I'm calling you from San Antonio, Texas, and hopefully one
Hello.
of these days you're gonna.
So hopefully utakuja.
Itabidi nikuja niwapigie muziki huko wake.
Kuja urushiwe sidiria huku.
Tafadhali. American bra.
Okay, American bra. Hizo si fake.
Si fake man. Kitu designer.
Kitu designer.
Kitu Victoria's Secret.
Haya, sawa. Talk to us. 5 questions umeulizwa.
Yeah, so number 1, predominantly I do write my music. So for the most part in my career, I've written everything that I've sung. For this album, however, what we did is I explored co-writing, which is a concept we're doing. So we have a new group we've formed. It's called the Kodong Clan. It's myself, Bensol, Okelo Max, Costa Ojwang, Watenda Willy, and Mordecai from Had the Band. And what we're doing is just coming together and helping each other and creating music and holding each other accountable. We're also doing an album together that has serious solid songs. So for this album, myself and my friend from Watenda Willy, I don't even know, they have a song called Chamtum that's really big in Kenya, in Akubalika with Matata. So you can check those songs out also. We wrote the songs with him predominantly, so I co-write with him sometimes. But yeah, so predominantly I write my songs. How do I define success? 100% as a pop artist, commercial success is important to me. But one of the most important things for me is just being able to export Kenyan music, and I think maybe we shall delve into that later. And that's why I really appreciate being on a platform like this that allows me to put my music out to an audience that I wouldn't have reached otherwise, or it would have taken so much more to in order for me to reach them. So just exporting music and being able to make people appreciate Kenyan music all over the globe and all over the world. That's success for me. One of my biggest dreams is I want to fill Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega. Charisma Live, I want Charisma Live to be something people move from Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Kiambu, they come to Kakamega, Bukungu Stadium, wanachukua ma Airbnb, wanangoja gig ya Charisma manze. Charisma ana perform live at Bukungu Stadium, 30,000 strong, whatever the capacity is. So that's a dream of mine. So yeah, when I talk about success, those are the kind of things I'm thinking. Stage fright is something I really experienced early on in my career. However, and I think for the most part why I had stage fright is because I as I told you guys earlier, I was never a musician way back in my career, way back in my life. So I was just afraid of going off key, not sounding great, But when I became confident in the things that I do in my craft, I really got to a point where I'm gonna be honest, I don't get stage fright. Whenever I go to a stage, I feel at home. I think me as a performer, for Charisma as a performer, the stage is, like as an entertainer, the stage is my favorite place. There's nothing I enjoy in music more than performing, than being on stage. It's the thing I do the best. It's the thing that... Na kutoa shati manze. Hizo ndo vitu zime... I think career yangu imemekiwa na live performances zangu. Huku Kenya, Nairobi, wherever you go, Mombasa, if there's one thing people know about me is I go on stage and we give a show like myself, my band, and my dancers, my BGVs, we give a show like no other. So I don't have stage fright because I think I really believe in how I perform on stage and what I do on stage. So I've gotten used to it. And also, I guess, years of doing something is just like you guys studio and with your platform. Yeah, you've done it so many times. I see kazi ngumu anymore. When I get me second nature in many ways. Yeah. How do people responding to a performance? I've been in those situations, especially early on in my career where, and sometimes I think one of the things we made a mistake with is we went to perform in areas that just didn't resonate sometimes with our music. Kuna place zingine tu mziki yenu wase hawajali nini mnaimba manze. Shai kwa place unaimba wase hata hawaangalia hata stage.
Hizo ni place kama gani sasa? Hizo ni place kama gani sasa? Kule mziki.
Unajua na si ati ni mbaya, but kuna time, so when I was still with the band, tulikuwa ngoma yetu number 1 ilikuwa ngoma big ndio, na tuko na ngoma zingine zimesonga, but tumepelekwa Kisii ndani deep.
Watu wa Mbaramba
because they could not care less. They could not give two shits about what we were saying. Like, kwanza kuna mama anasema nawa kizungu yote wanatuambia ya nini? Na unajua unasikia, alafu unajua wase waocha ni wa loud. Hakuna comment na wapita, hawasengenyi, wanawaambia
live.
Wanawashow manze. And also just the thing about being an artist is learning how to also control the audience. I think it's something you learn over time while being on stage and knowing how to read an audience and what to give the audience. Sometimes in the kataso unafikiria, okay, how do I twist this thing to fit them? I remember so after the Mandamano, we had the thing at Uhuru Park just to celebrate the people, the lives of the people who had lost, and the guys who were injured and tried to fundraise and all those kind of things. Manzo, unajua the audience different. I sing to, like, my audience is predominantly an urban audience, but you see, we had every kind of person in that concert. And I remember there's a lot of artists who struggle because our jaimba kwa stage kama hiyo. Na manzo acha ni wa show. Hawa seni watiaji. Ulikuwa unaanza ngoma yako ya ma feelings wanafanya hivi. Asika ulikuwa mnakula tear gas pamoja. Wasa wanakuchuja alafu wanakufanyia hivi unakufa moyo. So mimi nakumbuka niliingia stage nikijiambia, okay, I am faced with an uphill battle, but you know what? I've been performing for a while. I know what to do. I know the songs that I'm gonna perform here. Pia unajua kama msanii unajua kuna place utaenda una hiyo audience ujue hii ngoma haiwezi imbwa hapa. ama imagine ni when msi una perform ka Kenya. Unajua mimi ambia say audience ya design si ufanya mashow Kenya na majusi same.
Is different.
Mimi na majua say usiku wa manane wanachezewa ngoma ya feelings na kina Bruno Mars na wanaimba. Wakenya ukiwaingia ngoma za feelings wamelewa wanakurushia mamawe manzi. Unajua culture yetu ya concerts ni different na
wanataka kudance.
Wasa wanataka kudance. Hakuna mtu anataka kusikia ati vile unapenda bibi. Hakuna bro. So ni understand two audiences na understand stage. I was talking to my boy. We had traveled to Malaysia for about 2 weeks, yeah. Na kulikuwa na concert ya Bruno Mars huko manze. Kitu ilinishtua sana because hata mimi acha niwaambie kweli siko well travel, lakini in Jesus name ndo nimeanza, ndio kuanza. Unaelewa?
Kama Ruto.
Ndio kuanza.
Kama Ruto.
Nataka nipande ndege kama Ruto sasa. So I was in shock because I remember when they were putting out the posters for the gig information, they're like Bruno Mars ataingia stage 8:30 but mpaka 10:30 gig imeisha, wase waende home. Nasema hakuna hata DJ atacheza after party nini, like no. You know how in Kenya we are so used to
correct
hata main act ataingia stage midnight ama 1 hiyo kitu bomika
huku diaspora hata 3 huku gigs za Kenya huku hata 3 saa zingine
hata 4
yeah it's happening
asubuhi.
Yes.
Yeah, but 3 asubuhi, but then unajua concerts huko America, concerts which are by midnight, the latest.
Lakini za Kenya na za Kenya.
No, like if you do a proper concert, like if you do a Kenya upika 3, which is the normal 3 junior DJ, but then if ni Kenya umpeleke place kama Howard Theater.
Huko wezi make it.
Yeah, by
midnight. Yeah, but you see, that's what I'm saying. So the culture is so different, yeah.
It is, yeah.
So I think ni understand to surrounding yako na kujua nini na happen na una deal na hiyo. But ni interesting sana kwangu. Na feel kama zapata culture shock deadly sana. So niwaulize, Dunda tuseme msanii amemaliza perform midnight. Watu wanaenda home ama wanaenda?
No. Bado wanaendelea. Well, depending on the venue.
Depending on the venue. Okay. Kama ni venue kama easy theaters like Howard, mnaenda home. You know.
Lock, stock, barrel, funga, tokeni.
Funga mnaenda. But kama ni hizi dunda za kawaida kuna hizi appearance where an artist is just appearing. Hata hajakam kuperform. Yani amekuwa tu kwa flyer, anapia mtamuona kwa stage, lakini hata perform. Huku clubs wa mostly zinafungwa depending on what state huko. Clubs zinafungwa kama 3 am ukiwa ukiwa place. No, by the way 3 am is late. Kuna states zingine zinafunga hata 2. You know, 1:30 lights
wanasha lights 1:45
1:30
all alcohol off the table 2 o'clock out
and then
mnamaanisha nini?
No, yes
all alcohol off the table.
Yes
yeah, no alcohol
na mtu mwenye analipa
hiyo
shauri yako
kao lipa shauri yako.
Unajua huko unakwanga umelipa before ifunguliwe, so you have like lazima unakwanga umepeana kadi before ifunguliwe, alafu unajua kuna last call, so kama club inafungwa 2:30, last call kwa 1:30.
Okay, so what time do you go to the club? So unajua manzeni ini interesting kwangu na feel kasa mimi ndo na wa interview
so ingia club between saa 4 na nusu to saa 5
na alafu yes.
Alafu mnatoka by na hili mnasema 3 ni late.
3 ni late.
Yes.
Ukiwa pale unafika 3.
So pale kinaliwa naishi club fungwa 2:30.
Oh yeah, by the way huko side zetu ni mapema.
Huko pale sisi naishi huko south wa kwa bit lenient tunafika 3.
Hiyo sana lenient. Alafu mnatoka kwa Junior sewa state mkikuja Kenya ndo mnatoka club 8 asubuhi. Usharealize
was states Kenya kuingia club saa 7 usiku.
Kweli.
Alafu another thing is that ukienda sasa place kama Vegas, huko kuna club za 24 hours.
Yeah, Vegas ni 24 hours
so
kama Kenya.
Vegas is a different world. Vegas is unaweza kuwa unatoka club na unaona ndio ile pale inaingia. Na kuna shift inaingia.
Club mnamaanisha yani kuna jua na watu wako club.
Yes.
Sasa Las Vegas.
Na hapo hata in fact wanazima nini masaa. Huwezi jua ni saa ngapi.
Wanazima
Huko ndo unanipeleka huko.
Yes, sasa
usijali Vegas uta explode usijali you're good.
Huko mpaka utachoka. Uoshasikia kuchoka, yeah. Utachoka. Unaona kama during rugby there is a place that Kenyans walikuwa wanaenda inaitwa Planet Hollywood. Kuna it's not even a club. What would you call that place?
It was a sports bar. It was a
sports bar. Hiyo kitu is open 24 hours. So Kenyans wanaingia in different shifts. Kuna wale wanaenda game na kuna wale hawaendi game. Kuna wale walienda out wakachoka wakaenda wakalala, and then 5 am ndo wanamka ndo wako fresh, wameoga, wanaingia, alafu kuna wengine wanatoka na place imejaa, it's full to capacity. So yes, so culture shock, yes, especially with the nightlife. You will see it here, and it all depends on which part of the
utajua hujui.
Yeah, kuna states.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because even Malaysia, bro. In Malaysia, you know how Kenyans in Kenya we go to the clubs due at 10, 9. Si tulienda club 10 manze, tuko tu sisi wa Kenya, sisi wenye tuko pamoja. Hawa sasa wanaingia club 1, 2.
Yeah, it's
you know what the hell?
Different culture.
Yeah, different cultures,
different culture, but we'd love to see you.
Washeke, your questions have been answered?
No, there's 2 questions that have not been answered.
2 questions. Oh, sorry.
I think alianza 3 peke yake, usahau maswali za Washeke.
I think nimeanza zote.
Oh, umeanza zote? Okay, sawa.
No, bado, but no.
Does music help in other areas in my life?
Yes.
Yeah, I think especially as a dude, especially as an African man, I think I've also grown in a house where I don't want to say they didn't allow me to show emotion, but najua tu wanaume vile tunaambiwanga usifanye hivi, usilie, usifanye vitu kama hivyo.
Kangumu.
Yeah, kangumu. Music imenisaidia sana kuji-express, yeah. There's things that otherwise I would have sat with and bottled and zingekuwa tu vitu zimepita na mimi, but music, I'm able to express myself in a way that most people are not able to. And I think it also helps other people who listen to my music to express themselves in one way or another. Unajua tu ukisikiza ngoma saa zingine inakupatia emotions zingine, unaget unaanguka nazo nini. So I think music has helped me a lot. I would say a lot in terms of just expressing myself and being vulnerable, even as a dude.
Even healing from the time you were smitten.
Yeah.
Wewe wacha stories za kanisa bana, please. No. Selituambia vile hapa mazedem alikuwa amemkanyanga kama amemchanganya ile date.
Yeah.
Ilikuwa kanisani.
Alikuwa
kanisani, alikuwa heartbroken.
Naacha niambia kuna wasichana wanavunja mtu mmoja wasichana wa church.
Umejaribu kuongea naye 5 years.
Kwanza anakupigadi na mavasi na ni mtutu wako na mashida kama wewe, lakini anakupigadi na mabible.
I think he needs an album.
Abeda umeandika ngoma.
Mimi nago kwa church mbaya. Hapo demo club.
Washake, you content now, man?
No, kuna hiyo I think there was one more question.
He has answered all the questions. That is, you're not paying attention today. We'll fire you.
Hey.
Thank you, Charisma, for answering my question.
Where?
Thank you.
Thank you for answering. And then hopefully before we call it at night, please, play that song and muimbia my baby happy birthday. She's turning 10 in a few hours.
Oh, nice.
I know.
You said what's her name?
I think
Jojo.
I think
Jojo.
See, aimbe tu sahi.
Jojo, yeah.
No, I think she's called, what is her name? What a mambo nickname.
But see, Jojo is her name.
Jojo is her name.
Who told you it's her
nickname?
Johari.
Huh?
Eta gwate?
Jojo.
Johari.
Thank
Johari.
you. Jen, easy manini zenu.
Okay.
So aimbe sahi ama aimbe later?
Ama aimbe later.
Aimbe tu sahi.
Aimbe tu sahi.
Hata Johari. No, mnaweza imba later.
Okay.
Imbeni later ndio nimuita akuja asikie.
Okay, sawa. Let us know. Let us know she's there.
Sawa.
Piga signal.
Sawa. Hiyo hapo poa. Now another thing,
thank you.
I'm gonna drop off.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you Asheke. Now another thing, Charisma hapa. Mziki siku hizi iko na iko na do Kenya, because wasanii wa Kenya walikuwa wananungunika sana, walikuwa wanalalamika kwamba mziki haina hela,
na Ezekiel amefunga benki.
Watu walikuwa wanapatiwa, sijui ilikuwa ni pesa ngapi zile za M-Pesa, ilikuwa ni pesa
wachana hizo ghasia za useless people.
3750 I think or something.
25
1250 usitupunguzie pia.
Oh sorry. No, I was saying 25 because you remember ngirimbili so tano.
Lakini outside
ulikuwa umesema 2500 kuongeza.
It was coming in stages. It depended on which one you are getting. Kuna ile
ya
12.
No, so the thing about the music copyright bodies in this country, that first of all, I want to say all of them are dumb. They're useless. They do this thing where they give people an equal share. You're not paid based on how much your music is played. And the reason why that happens is because when MCSK or whatever other stupid body does those meetings of theirs, they tell people to vote. How many want us to pay you equally? So of course, a bulk of musicians are not getting airplay like the ones at the top, you know. So pesa inagawanywa equally manze. Tunatumiwa 1,250 per year. Now 1,250 was actually a career high. What? You know.
What? That is sad. That is very sad.
So and that really sucks, because it really sucks when you're making your music and it's playing on radio and it's playing on TV. You've worked your ass off and everything is online on the radios, but hakuna Kenya wanna make from your stuff. However, yes, music is making money,
but not for the artist.
I can't compare. I remember when I was starting out with the band, and now it's different, bro. The scene is so different. I was telling someone, man, like the young guy. Okay, the younger guys younger than me who are getting into the industry are getting paid amounts that I wouldn't have thought. Like hata singefikiria kuuliza mse. Napata kamse kameanza juzi kakopoa, anadupoa, anapatiwa hata so tatu manze. Unajua dopoa manze kwa kijana yako na miaka 22, 21. For anyone really in Kenya, dopoa. So I think scene may change manze. I think there's a bigger appreciation for Kenyan music. Na Wakenya wameanza tu, sijui nini happen. Wakenya walianza tu ku love shows za Wakenya. I think always you feel kama kuna hiyo period ni Sauti Sol ilikuwa imetokea. Kuna kina Have the Band, and then kuna sisi kina Le Band and a couple of other bands that came out when you truly push the live scenes a lot for the last like 10 years, ilifanya wase waka love live music mbaya, and I think a lot of us guys who are doing live music now are earning, and it's so dope because you don't even for a lot of guys you don't even have to have the big massive hit. Just be a great performer. People just want to see you for being a great performer. They don't care about the millions of views that you don't have. They just want to see a great performance, and guys are paying for shows. The fact that I'm able to put a concert, it was something I wouldn't have dreamt about at the Nazakatiko 1,500 bob na ni sell out show. Ungeniambia hivyo 5, 6, 7 years ago ningekwambia wewe wazimu ni. Tulikuwa tunakatiko 500 na bado show hazijai. So I think landscape in a change now. The only thing I think the onus now is on Kenyan musicians to just keep applying pressure and keep working, and now try and look at the areas that we fail on and improve them. Because someone said things like marketing, and it's something I've had a conversation with Mika and a lot of my boys about. Like, we need to improve things like marketing and just be better in those sectors. So like we need to apply more pressure to do much more to make sure this thing that's happening, this boom, this fire that people have for Kenyan music doesn't end, for the Kenyan live scene doesn't end, for attending Kenyan shows doesn't end, because it's not that we're owed anything, you know. But yeah, right now the situation is different. I definitely believe it could be better, because unajua manze chenye nanifanya hata niseme hivyo, nasikianga Davido anakam Kenya manze ana perform, nasikia Davido amelipwa, alafu wale dan ulikuwa unalipwa poa. Nasikia Davido analipwa
reality check.
Manze hata atulipwi.
Lakini sasa kama mna pull crowd, like for example, like kama una pull your crowd, for example the one that you pulled at Mass House, ambao umesema iko na capacity sijui ni 1,800 or 2,000 people, na ilijaa. Is it that pia kuna vile maybe there's a certain conditioning whereby msanii wa kutoka nje atalipwa kiasi akona rate yake, na msanii wa Kenya despite kuwa ana sell out na kuwa mpaka kuna watu ambao wamehata tickets, ye bado atalipwa tu ile yake ile ya kawaida.
To be fair, Kenyans we've not been selling out shows for a while.
Okay.
Ndo maana hata mimi ku sell out show yangu ilikuwa big deal hata online na kila place. Just kitu ina happeningi. So I think tuko kwa stage nye ma shows na sell out na chenye ina happen ni what you're starting to see is a lot of now, even for me, my rate card is different. What my rate card was before my show and after is different. So of course there's an improvement in terms of how we're being paid because of this thing. So I think the boom is happening. And again, as you guys said, so the thing is earlier on, there was a lot of Nigerian music and even now there's a lot of Nigerian music still in Amapiano, which is really big in Kenya. So I was saying on the based off ngoma zao kuwa big vizi Kenya. So unaget so ni kazi yetu pia sisi kama wasanii, unajua kuna hiyo point ya tunataka wasanii support 100%, but pia ni kazi yetu for us guys pia kutry kufika hizo levels zenye say wako, and mlisema kitu kama marketing, just figuring it out, how do we also put our music in a place like where Amapiano has put themselves, Afrobeat, how do we brand ourselves and put ourselves there so that even us guys are being paid in the same kind of way, you know? Because pia mtu ulipiwa na value yake, hawezi tu ulipwa juu unajua alipwa 90 million, hata ulipwa 90 million juu tu ni msanii. Lazima kuwe na kitu,
lazima kuwe na value. Yeah,
job ndio ulipiwa, si tu juu ni msanii.
But sasa our wasanii, these big artists in Kenya like in a BN for example,
yes.
And I personally don't know their rate cards. But sasa wasanii wakubwa like in a BN, do they make
Nyash,
kina Nyash, do they make those big amounts that these artists from outside make? Like for example,
so I said they make those guys are paid in the millions. That's fine. But the truth is, honestly, you still can't compare their millions to Davido's millions in terms of pay.
No, absolutely.
Davido alipwa sijui nilisikia ilikuwa 99 kama 70. And life change. Mimi ukinipatia 70 million sahi
hatukuoni tena.
Ataacha
nyinyi unasema nyinyi, hata mama yangu anioni.
Wow.
I hope hajakusikia.
Wow.
I hope hajakusikia.
Wow.
Like at least utakuwa umemwachia at least ka 10% hapo kabla.
Lakini no, yeah, basically I mean I'm joking, but you don't do more. When I get 70 mic for a show,
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, but you see our Afrobeat artists, they are commanding more money than American artists.
Yeah, they have the
Here in the
numbers.
US,
They have the numbers
They have the
worldwide.
numbers,
Worldwide.
They have the
But
numbers.
the thing is,
No,
I think the thing here, what I wanted to ask is that, we're talking about pay, but then we're talking about artists making more music, like taking advantage of this. But one thing I've always said about, and I'll always continue calling about, is that in Kenya we have good artists just to produce music, talent. The thing that most artists lack in Kenya is the learning the business of music. They know music.
yes.
They know music very well, but they don't know the business of music.
Yeah, biashara ni noma.
And I think this is something that me and Fidel fight a lot about, right? Like, anaweza fanya kitu nimwambia hapana, don't do that. And then ananiambia mimi ndo msanii na mimi nawaambia wewe ndo msanii but mimi ndo mfanya biashara hapa. So don't do that. Do something different. And so I just say, and looking by your album launch, which was very impressive, a lot of things that shows how you've gone in the business side of music. I just want you to talk about what do you think that other artists need to do to grow that side, and what do you feel like you need to continue growing on that side of the business of music, because that is the most important thing, because even you closing borders depends on you understanding the business side of music, not just music itself.
Yeah, so and I like this question, Mika, because so one thing I'll start by saying so is we don't have enough business people in the music industry. You know.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
you see, For Nigeria, for example, yes, they understand the business, but mostly because there's the business people in the music, yeah. By that I mean proper people connected in the industry, people who understand the music business. In Kenya, unajua manze siwezi kuwa msanii na bado ndo na control business ndo na dui na ni ngumu. Unaget, kuna an area that will suffer. Either it's going to be my music or the business side of the music. Yeah. So I have to pick something that I do. So one of the things we lack in this country is people in the music business. Actual business people to run the music business, so that the artist can be the artist and the business can be run as the business. I remember, so there's a time when Wizkid was here, and we were performing, so we were curtain for him, and we chilled together like the whole day, had such great convos, and Wizkid was telling us how he doesn't know anything. Like I've forgotten, his manager was called Sunday or something. He's the one who runs everything basically. Like Wizkid achwangi kitu, yeye kazi yake ni ku make music ever since he was 16. Mm-hmm. And I was like, those are the people we lack. You see, those people that Wizkid has that are helping him to get to that point, those are the people we lack in the industry. We don't even have enough entertainment lawyers in this country. There's like 3 or 4 people, and you hear about them everywhere. You know. However, I think artists still should be conversant with the music business. It's very important, in my opinion. It's very important to just know about it, even the basics, yeah. Because unajua pia ukianza utakuwa na management, utakuwa sijui na nani, utakuwa na mavitu zenye una deal nazo mwenyewe, na I think hizo ndo vitu zenye tuna need to learn, because those things are what now we go. That's why we're going into things like marketing, branding, and all those kind of things. What not to do, what not to say, what to say, you know, those kind of things that make a difference, you know. Because my question was, when I'm in Kuala Lumpur in the clubs the whole time, bro, unajua, of course kuna clubs za African na nini, unasikia African music, but in all the clubs I was hearing Afrobeat everywhere. You know, everywhere, man. Like hata tulienda club flani ya ilikuwa underground, bado wanacheza ma Afrobeat, and I was like, yeah, there's something these guys are doing in a business sense that we're not doing, you know, that the rest of the region has not caught up to. So I think it's just improving, and I don't want to lie that I fully understand. I think it's something I'm slowly starting to grasp. Another thing is, I think just corporate backing perhaps is something that would really help our industry, where let me not use even a Safaricom. Walikuwa watu walituzimia masimu, walifanya tushikwe na polisi. Like an Airtel. Yeah. An Airtel will sponsor an artist and back their videos and things like that. Because I've had a lot of Nigerian acts say the corporate backing they get, or the funding they get even from just the rich guys, or financial investment they get from people back in their countries, what really pushes the industry. So those kind of things, man, just business people investing into the industry, in whether it's money, just their brains and all those kinds of things, would really help. Yeah.
Now that's interesting. You know, like a very good question asked by Mika, but one thing that I once had Ted Josiah saying, you know, like with because you know Nigeria used to look up to Kenya. That's the funniest thing ever that we hear about. They used to look up to Kenya, but one thing I had Ted Josiah once say is that in Nigeria, you know, the way in Kenya, like all these rich people, wash people who've stolen money, they all go to real estate. So it was like at some point in Nigeria, you know, like those people with a lot of money decided, you know, like, why can't we also try to get into this industry? So they just threw money in there, you know, like, so ndo nakuta sa mtu kama Wizkid anakuambia from when he was 16, he doesn't know anything because someone spotted the talent, and then they already had this structure, and then once they figured out that there's a way of making money out of this, they're like, let this kid keep making music, let us make more money, let us pay more. The more we pay him, the more money we make on our side. So now in Kenya, the rich people have not gotten into the culture of investing in the arts. Everybody wants a plotty, everybody wants a shamba. Maguta. Yes, everybody wants an apartment, but people have not gotten into that culture of taking a risk like kuna msanii ana miaka 16, let's just back him and let him just make the music and see how far it can go. So hiyo bado, and me I say the moment whoever will crack that code, I'm telling you, like now
It's gonna be a game changer.
It's gonna be a game changer in everyone. Unajua vile Kenyans wanapenda kufuatana kama kondoo. Once they start seeing millionaires or rather even billionaires from that industry, everybody will now start jumping in. Kind of like what happened in Nigeria. In Nigeria, they have other local artists who've not made it out, but they're still making good money, you know, to survive inside of Nigeria. So yeah.